Primary ignition.
This is the way. This is the way. I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
What is up, all of you Ugnaughts and Jawas out there, and welcome back to Mando Talk. I am your host, as always, Caleb Keller, and this is super early for us. It is 10 o'clock here locally. I'm kind of, I got the day off because it's Veterans Day, so shout out to all the veterans out there. I'm sure we have maybe a few of you that listen to our show, so thank you for your service for our country.
Yes, thank you.
We're very thankful for that. And the voice that you hear, DJ, he's back as well. DJ Foster, what's up?
It's so funny to be doing it early in the day, and I don't mind it. I'm super comfy. I don't go into work normally until about this time, so I'm usually at home until about 10 most days. And thankfully, because I get to have such a flexible job, I told my dad, who's also my boss, I said, "Hey, I'm going to be in about an hour or so late tomorrow," and he's like, "Oh, that's fine, don't worry about it." And I was like, "Yes." So
nice.
But I'm so glad that you get the day off. There's nothing wrong with a day of rest. And I want to echo this real quick before we go forward. Thank you so much to our veterans. Thank you so much to those of you who served. That's for me down here in Texas. Of course, Caleb already said his, so just wanted to shout that out really quick before we move forward, because that above anything else is super important. And here in the States, not just in the States, Veterans Day, I'm a little bit of a history nerd too.
Okay.
Veterans Day was originally Armistice Day. Right? So that was the day we declared, hey, let's just stop all the war. I believe that was in World War I, and now we celebrate Veterans Day. So
there you
kind
go.
of a neat little thing there. So we're celebrating Veterans Day in multiple nations today when you really think about it.
There you go. Yeah, that's true. So shout out to all of our listeners, regardless, wherever you're at.
Vets. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, listen, a couple of things off the top that we need to address. Number one, the show moving forward. Me and DJ kind of started doing Geekverse reactions where we discuss, Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, like all the other stuff that we love. But this week really opened our eyes to how busy Star Wars is getting. And we think that we have officially reached that in-season mode as far as news coming out like crazy, new content coming out like crazy. So, starting next week on Tuesdays, we will go live to do our Star Wars news, like always. And then on Thursday, we will go live to do, like, content reviewing and spoiler discussions, or a specific topic that we have planned, Star Wars focused. So we are officially transitioning into that Star Wars in-season mode. Mando Talk is back to strictly being Mando Talk on all platforms: YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, you name it. We are Star Wars focused. But with that said, I do know, obviously, some of you like the Geekverse reaction stuff as well. From here on out, we are going to continue to do Geekverse reactions, but it will be YouTube exclusive content. Like, for example, when Hawkeye comes out, if we feel the need to do like reaction videos to that, you can go and find that on YouTube. When Spider-Man No Way Home comes out next month, for certain we are going to spoiler discuss that. Again, we will exclusively do that on YouTube, but we won't have like a set every single Tuesday for GVR moving forward. I wanted to address that to all of our listeners out there, but I think it's exciting. It's exciting for Mando Talk to be back solely focused, not solely, but mostly focused on Star Wars. DJ, you have anything you want to add to that?
I'm just ready to soak in all of the Star Wars that's coming, especially hopefully tomorrow with Disney Plus Day.
Yeah.
It's been confirmed that we're getting some stuff tomorrow, but I'm ready to just soak all that in like a sponge and then just wring it out, so we can just sprinkle that throughout our Mando Talk audience as best we can and just get down to business,
Yeah.
And that's been the thing I've always just kind of wanted to get back to. I've loved doing Geekverse, and I've loved getting to research news pieces and follow different stuff. But the fact that we get back to my foundation of geekness, being Star Wars. So I'm excited to jump back into that. And
no, I agree.
And with all of that being said, I'm just ready to get going. So glad that we're back at it today. As far as getting back into Mando talk goes.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned there Disney Plus Day. Disney Plus Day is, in fact, tomorrow as we are recording. And to start the show, we wanted to discuss Disney Plus Day a little bit more. Last week, we kind of gave our predictions a little bit, but we are now less than 24 hours away from that day. So here's a few things on my mind currently. Obviously, I think that's probably the main thing that a lot of the Star Wars fan base is thinking about right now. And you can check out Mando Talk on Twitter at Mando Talk. And I sent out this tweet: practice the mindset of cautiously optimistic over the next 24 hours, folks. Disney Plus Day has great potential for Star Wars content, but high expectations is the mind killer. Subtle reference to Dune there, by the way. But that's kind of where I'm at mentally right now. I know that we've got like Star Wars Newsnet, for example, a very reliable source telling us to expect some certain things tomorrow. But for me, as always, Lucasfilm can always quickly change their minds and switch up things and decide not to hit play on a trailer for everybody. I think there's potential for that. So I'm going to go in cautiously optimistic. I think we're going to get some things. Hopefully we get a Kenobi trailer. That's what I'm really, really itching for. But that's kind of where I'm at with Disney Plus Day. What about you, DJ? Where are you at?
I replied to said tweet.
Yeah.
And borrowed a phrase from TikTok and said, consider my mind unalived. Because at this point, I can't help but be my expectations are very high. Let me just leave it at that.
Okay.
I am expecting, just a lot. I mean, I'm expecting a buffet, and I know it's dangerous during a post-pandemic world, but I'm expecting a buffet of just content. And I will be honest with you, I think I'll be a little upset if we don't get a ton of stuff tomorrow. I mean, I get up fairly early most days. I plan on getting up pretty early tomorrow, not because it's Disney Plus Day. I got stuff to do besides that. But at the same time, I expect to wake up and see all kinds of things trending. And if I don't, I'm going to be a little bit bummed out. I'll just be real honest. I want to hear about everything that's coming. And they've been building up Disney Plus Day for like months now. And they being Disney. So if we don't get some stuff and they've been building up and it turns out to be this huge flop,
sure,
I'm gonna be upset.
I think for me,
I'm not gonna go rage tweet or anything.
Sure.
Go ahead though.
I think for me, the thing that I really want the most, if I'm being completely honest, is just release dates. I want to know what next year is going to look like. I want them to come out and say, okay, at this time we are getting Kenobi. We are getting Bad Batch Season 2. We are getting Andor. We are getting Mando 3. Like, I want them to set those dates and go ahead and make me feel, okay, we're locked in, we're loaded. They have a plan for next year, fully fledged out, and we know it as a fan base. That would calm my nerves, if I'm being completely honest, as if they gave us those dates. But, like I said, Kenobi teaser would be very nice. Very nice.
I think that's the cream of the crop. That's what everybody expects to happen. And dates are fine. I'll be happy if we get dates. You know? But if we don't get if we don't get the Kenobi trailer, I'll be upset. It's done being filmed. It's been done being filmed.
Sure.
I want to see that hybrid makeup, Ewan McGregor, Alec Guinness. I want to see what they've come up with, and no matter what they come up with, I'll be excited.
There you go. I'm excited for the day regardless. I know we're getting that under the helmet thing for Boba Fett. I can't remember exactly the title. It's supposed to be coming on Disney Plus. I'm assuming first thing tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll check that out, and I'm sure we'll probably discuss that next Thursday when we do our topic focused on Boba Fett on next Thursday's episode of Mando Talk. But me and DJ have planned, if they do drop trailers, of course, we will be reacting to said trailers. And again, that's probably YouTube exclusive content, since you want to see and hear all the things that we react to. So subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't. We would greatly appreciate it. Okay, any other things you want to say about Disney Plus, DJ? Disney Plus Day.
Let's roll.
Right, let's roll. DJ, why don't you kick us off with the first news piece of the week?
All right. Rogue Squadron, in my opinion, a highly anticipated movie, but Rogue Squadron production has officially been delayed following a source from the Hollywood, or not a source from the Hollywood Reporter. The source is the Hollywood Reporter. Just read that wrong. That's on me. But here's a quote from that article. It says, Rogue Squadron, the Star Wars feature project due to be directed by Wonder Woman filmmaker Patty Jenkins, has been caught in the tractor beam and will take a little longer to make it to the big screen. Jenkins and writer Matthew Robinson have been developing Squadron for Lucasfilm for over a year with the goal of starting production in 2022. It was to have gone into pre-production by the end of this year. However, sources say the producers and filmmaking team came to the realization that Jenkins' schedule and other commitments wouldn't allow for the window needed to make the movie in 2022. It initially had a release date of December 22nd, 2023. And while that currently remains in place, dates, of course, can be shifted. So, Caleb, I know that you have a very passionate opinion about these behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I'll go with issues. I'll say issues. And
yes.
I'll use that a little lightly because I don't want to go full blown. This is an issue just yet. But like I said, I know you have a great opinion on this, and I do mean that it is a good opinion. I think our listeners need to hear from you, and then we can shove it back over here to me if
sure
we need to.
Well, I have to admit I am kind of bummed about this, and I think my opinion is mostly negative. I'm just kind of to the point where all of these behind-the-scene issues at Lucasfilm with Star Wars movies is getting very old. It happened with Solo initially, with Lord and Miller directing, and then they have quote-unquote creative differences that make them leave that project. I think it happened again with Colin Trevorrow, but they ended up using the excuse of his most recent film bombing, and so they were like, oh, okay, he's off the project. I just feel like these scheduling issues, that is currently the current of what they're saying issues for why this is being delayed, I don't know if I buy that. This is stuff that as a company you have to vet out. Like, you have to plan and understand what Patty Jenkins has got going on. We know that she has Wonder Woman 3. I'm sure that was a prior commitment. There is that, apparently there's a series going on that Patty Jenkins is involved with the Wonder Woman franchise as well over at HBO Max. That is something, again, to my understanding, was a prior arrangement. So this whole idea of scheduling conflict with Patty Jenkins is throwing me off. Like, this is something I feel like they should have known, and I feel like they do. And they did know, and I have a personal opinion. This is total speculation, no inside sources, no articles, no rumors, nothing to indicate this. This is my personal opinion. I think we have creative differences going on. I think Patty Jenkins wants maybe more control over the story, and Kathleen Kennedy, like in the past, has certain things that she wants to have happen, or whoever. I don't know if it's Kathleen Kennedy or not, but we know Kathleen
Kennedy at this point.
Right, we know Kathleen Kennedy was a big part with the Lord and Miller exit as far as Solo goes. So I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I know it's negative. I don't like to be negative, but that's kind of where I'm at with this Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron thing. I don't buy the scheduling conflict issue. I have a feeling it's really more so, okay, we've got creative things that we've got to flesh out. We need more time on. And I believe there was online reports and rumors of script issues that they were having to rework. So I think there's multiple different things going on behind the scenes. I'm not quite to the point where I feel like, oh, this is another project that we're never going to see. I still think we're going to see it in some form. But I'm just being super negative. I'm going dark side right now. Going dark side. DJ, what do you have to say? What do you have to say?
I'm not so far dark side as you are, I think, at this point. I don't know totally how I feel about this just yet. I've been sitting on it for a few days trying to figure out exactly how I feel about it. And I'm definitely, I think, more sad or maybe melancholy. I don't know, just some kind of, I don't want to say I'm like boohooing because I'm not. I'm just like, it's never fun to hear about behind the scenes issues, especially on projects that you really care about. And I think that Patty Jenkins is a phenomenal director.
Yes.
Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 2. I think the problems with Wonder Woman 2 weren't Patty Jenkins' problem. That was actually issues created by Warner Brothers. And I think that has a lot to do with the whole Justice League, Snyderverse type of issues too. That's maybe more personal. That could be an opinion that I'm sure is shared by a lot of people. But at the same time, I don't think that this is something that is Patty Jenkins' fault. I as much as I care about Lucasfilm and the projects they've put out, from Star Wars to Indy to Willow to Red Tails, if anybody remembers that one, all of these different projects I deeply care about. And I'm starting to realize, I think, as a lot of people may have up to this point, that there's issues at Lucasfilm, and whoever the cause may be, is really hearsay. I don't want to say it's Kathy's fault. I don't want to say it's Filoni's fault even. I mean, a lot of people will stand by, hey, this is Filoni should have the reins or whatever. A lot of people will say things like that. And I don't think there's any problem talking about those possibilities. I don't want to ever get to a point where I'm full on bashing, people, because let's face it, these decisions aren't easy to make. So as far as the whole thing goes, I'm going to go ahead and agree with you that I don't think this is just totally gone. It's not been wiped. The slate's not been wiped clean, so to speak, because we haven't found anything out about that. We have to hear from somebody say, hey, we're not doing this. And if they say they're not doing it, okay, they're not going to go forward with it. And that's a bummer, because that little tease we had that got released last year of Patty on the tarmac with that X-Wing was incredible.
Yes, it was.
And her passion, you could tell in her voice, talking about, I think her dad was a fighter pilot, or her grandfather, or somebody in her family. So even she's having to deal with that on Veterans Day. And it's kind of a bummer to hear about that. So I don't want to say that, it's anything more than what it is, but at the same time, you're kind of, I think, onto something. They're not going to go into a project without having talked out some details, worked with agents and publicists and, a PR team and all that fun stuff. I don't see Patty Jenkins or Kathy Kennedy making such an unwise move. They're two very competent filmmakers who have been in the business a long time. Just doesn't make sense that would be the case. So I don't think it's that. I do think it's something else, but I also think, if it comes down the line when it's supposed to, great. If not, more time to work on it. It's kind of my full opinion.
And I agree as far as, like, if there are, in fact, creative differences, like, I'm totally speculating, by the way. Buying some more time with that is better than trying to rush it. So I want to make that clear. Second thing I want to make clear is, by any means, if you're listening, do not think that this is me going after Kathleen Kennedy. I'm not one of those that feels like I should blame everything on Kathleen Kennedy when I can.
I can vouch for that.
I think she's incredible. I think you cannot tell the story of all of these incredible Hollywood films without Kathleen Kennedy. So she gets nothing but positive reviews from me. I just think this is one of those things that behind the scenes, maybe it's just not one of her strong suits as far as making sure all the things are planned accordingly, if in fact it is scheduling issues. That's just my personal opinion, though. But I got nothing but love and respect for her. And you mentioned the announcement video that they made of Patty Jenkins, out there with the X-Wing fighter and everything. I feel like that is even more proof in the pudding that everything was planned out perfectly and they were fully committed to this thing coming out in 2023, but for some reason here we are not getting it. And again, Hollywood Reporter here, it says it has a release date of December 22nd, 2023, and while that currently remains in place, dates can always shift. So we're currently supposed to assume that it's still coming out at the same time. I don't think it's going to be coming out at the same time, though, personally.
Well, I don't know because, Star Wars can be produced quickly.
Sure.
Okay. We saw that with literally every Disney movie that's come out. Not Disney, I mean Disney Star Wars movie. We've seen how quickly those things can come out. But let's kind of take this into consideration. Rise of Skywalker was 2019. We're now at the end of 2021. Okay. That's 2 years ago. And she's been working on this thing for over a year. Patty Jenkins has. So she started on this in 2020. For this to have been said right now that there are some sort of commitments that have gotten in the way, I think it's a weak excuse. Don't get me wrong, but we still have all of 2022 and all of 2023. And again, remember, Rise of Skywalker ended 2019. She started on this thing probably during the pandemic, writing or something, some sort of producing. Now we're into the end of 2021. It's very likely that this movie could still come out in 2023, unless we've just totally missed a news article that said the date shifted.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have.
And
so with that being the case, I still think it could come out.
Okay.
In 2023. I don't see why not. They're going to stick to those December dates. They like those December dates because Christmas and it coincides with all that, the holiday season. So I don't see why they would move from that unless they push it to 2024. But I'm pretty sure an Avatar movie comes out that year.
I think so.
And I don't think they want to split the difference there and kind of compete against themselves. Disney, that is. No. So I'm going to go ahead and for right now until otherwise disproven, they're going to stick with the 2023 release.
Okay. No, I like it. I like that we're on different opinions on that. I just have a feeling. I have a feeling that we're eventually going to get a new release date for it.
Yeah, and I think that, there's a certain degree to that, feeling that is warranted. But for now, I don't agree with the date change.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, those of you out there, what do you think of this delay of Rogue Squadron, directed by Patty Jenkins, written by Patty Jenkins, produced, I'm assuming, slightly by Patty Jenkins, a Patty Jenkins film? What do you think about Rogue Squadron getting delayed? Shout out to Blue Harvest Bricks. He's in the live chat. He said, "Hey guys, happy to see you live at a reasonable hour in the UK." That's right. We did this just for you, man. We did this just for you. Okay.
If it's a reasonable hour in the UK, then you need to be sharing this link with all of your other reasonably houred UK friends.
There you go.
We're pro UK here at Mando Talk.
Yeah, we are. University of Kentucky. Go Wildcats.
I was about to say something about fish and chips and how I visited London one time, but whatever. We'll just move on.
All right. Let's go to our next news piece here. Chloe Zhao. You know her. You've come to know her. She just directed Eternals. I don't know if you've heard of that film, by the way. If you have seen Eternals, go check out mine and DJ's spoiler review of Eternals. And also, if you haven't seen Eternals, go see my initial non-spoiler reaction out of theater, and maybe that'll convince you to go see it or not go see it. Anyway, Chloe Zhao. She is rumored to be directing Kevin Feige's produced Star Wars film. And the source on this one is One Take News. Now, that is a source that I personally don't think I have come across ever since I've started Mando Talk and started reporting news pieces. I don't think. We go through a lot of different articles and sources, but I don't feel like One Take News is something that's ever rolled off the tongue, on air at least. So, could be legit, could not be so legit, who knows? But regardless, I think it kind of lines up with what's been going on recently, because Chloe Zhao in interviews has kind of talked about her interest in getting into Star Wars. It would certainly make sense with how much Kevin Feige has hyped up Chloe Zhao after directing Marvel's Eternals, that he would want her to come on board for his Star Wars film. And even in Eternals, there's a couple of instances, and I won't, give spoilers. There's a couple of background or side pieces, Easter eggs of Star Wars popping up in that film. So I think she's even playing her hand a little bit, saying, hey, I like Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Feige, bring me on board. I would love to do it. DJ, after you got this news or this rumor that Chloe Zhao will be directing Kevin Feige's produced Star Wars film, what were your thoughts?
Is it okay if I tell a short story with this? I was real quick.
Take it away.
I was at something down here. I don't know if it's everywhere, but we've seen videos of things like Topgolf. The driving range that tracks your shot and you hit it into the big nets, all that fun stuff. I was actually at Topgolf on Tuesday, and I grabbed my phone for like just a second and checked Twitter, and I saw that was rumored and announced or whatever. And I was kind of by myself, and I was with a group of people, and like there's like 2 maybe Star Wars fans in that group. And so I went to those 2 people, and I was like, Chloe Zhao, director of Eternals, is rumored to be doing the next Star Wars movie with Kevin Feige. And they were kind of like, okay. And I was like, nobody's freaking out with me about this right now. And so for me, here's the thing. I stand by what I said about Eternals in our spoiler review.
Mm-hmm.
I stand by that it wasn't my favorite Marvel movie, but it was a good movie. And the way she directed that movie, I would love to see that directorial style in Star Wars, and the visual skate. I don't even know what to call it. Just the way the movie was filmed. I want to see that in Star Wars. It's very similar style to Christopher Nolan, if I'm being honest. And if going to Dune, it was very similar in style to how Denis Villeneuve did Dune. So at least that's how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the scope that she could bring to Star Wars is great. So for me, I had to freak out on my own very silently for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then I revisited the news later on in the day and was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe we're this is a possibility. It makes all the sense in the world. And it very easily could just be somebody throwing out an idea and it's been totally misconstrued. But I don't think that's the case. I think this is a solid rumor that we can actually run with. I think that this is something that could come to fruition. If not with a film, let her direct an episode of Book of Boba Fett or Ahsoka or Mandalorian. You're not Kenobi, that one's done. But like, you know what I'm saying? We could see somebody like her jumping in to TV as far as Star Wars goes very easily. I mean, Dallas Bryce Howard directed Mandalorian and she killed it.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Did I say
you
Dallas
said Dallas
Bryce? Oh, my bad. Bryce Dallas Howard.
There
Sorry.
you go.
It's the Texas in me. Dallas has
sure.
to come out first.
Sure.
But Bryce Dallas Howard, she did that, killed it. And I mentioned her specifically because she was kind of brand new to directing. And she has 2 episodes in 2 different seasons that are really polar opposites in style. And I think that Chloe Zhao could very easily jump in and be another Bryce Dallas Howard kind of type of director within a Star Wars scape. And
sure.
So I think that this is good news. I think this is fantastic news. And I'll say this: all Star Wars news is good news in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if it's bad news, okay? Because then it gives us something more to think about and speculate about and talk about. So I'm all for any kind of news that brings us closer to a new Star Wars project.
Yeah. I'll just add this, and this is no disrespect to who you mentioned, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Okay.
Incredible director. Love her directing in The Mandalorian. Chloe Zhao, though, and this is something, correct me if I'm wrong, if this is not the case. Chloe Zhao, if she were to direct Kevin Feige's produced Star Wars film, Chloe Zhao would be the only Academy Award winning Best Director to ever direct a Star Wars film.
Yes, but but she wouldn't be the first who'd been nominated.
Sure, but we're talking about a winner here.
She would be, to my knowledge, let me think. We've got, obviously, Lucas. He's never won one.
Right.
Irvin Kershner. He didn't win one for that. Richard Marquand. He didn't win one for Jedi. Rian Johnson has not won an Academy Award.
Not to my knowledge.
But I think he was nominated for
Correct.
Knives Out.
Think so.
JJ hasn't. So no, I don't think. Yeah, I think you'd be right to say that.
Okay.
I had to work through it really quick.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, I'm glad you did, because I was trying to as well, and I didn't think that one of them was. But so again,
no, I don't think so.
All respect to Bryce Dallas Howard. You're correct. It would be really cool. But this would be a massive deal. And the reason why I think it's so massive is because of that title that would go with it. This would be the very first time in Star Wars history that with the trailer they could say, from Academy Award-winning director Chloe Zhao,
Yes.
Star Wars, whatever. I think that's massive because obviously we'll be there. As Star Wars fans, we'll be there. But there's some people that just go to enjoy cinema because they like film making. And when they see that, when they see Academy Award winning, Oscar nominated, Oscar winning, Best Director, Best Picture, Chloe Zhao, that's a big deal. That gets people to go that maybe wouldn't go. So again, no disrespect to other people, but this is massive in my opinion.
So Rian Johnson has won an Academy Award, but it was for Best Original Screenplay.
Okay, there you go.
In 2020. And that had to have been for Knives Out, which
yes, it was. Yes, 2020.
If you haven't seen, if you're listening to this, you haven't seen Knives Out, what are you doing? That's a fantastic movie.
Right.
I don't care what anybody says, and because it's Star Wars, let me tie it back to Star Wars real quick.
Sure.
Ryan, I've said this on Mando Talk. I think Rian Johnson. This is totally a big shift from our show notes, but it'd just be a second. I think
we're talking about The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I know, right? We can't do that. No, I think that he made a great Rian Johnson film. I don't think he made the best Star Wars film. If you look at a couple of his other movies, Looper being a fantastic one and Knives Out also being fantastic. If you watch those two movies and then go watch Last Jedi, you'll see very quickly, this is a Rian Johnson film. This is not a Star Wars film. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of get off the rails and realize that. So all that being said, going back to Chloe Zhao, let me tie it back to our actual discussion. Yeah, Academy Award-winning director Chloe Zhao on the trailer, if they even do that.
Right.
Throw that out there. Let us see that on the big screen, and I'm floored. I'm floored by it. I think it's awesome.
And I think you're right too that she would bring something pretty beautiful to film, cinematography.
Cinematography.
That's the word I'm looking for. There you go. Hey, it's early. It's early for us here at Mando Talk. We already talked about that.
Yes.
But anyway,
we do this in the wee hours.
Yeah. I love this rumor. Currently, it is just a rumor.
Right.
But the Kevin Feige produced film is stacking up to be pretty awesome because Michael Waldron, the writer of Loki, is supposed to be the writer for the Star Wars film.
I forgot about that.
Obviously, Feige's producing. Mm-hmm. And if you put Chloe Zhao on top of that to finalize the script and do her own filmmaking things, sign me up. I think we got great things to come.
The writer of that again was who?
Michael Waldron.
Michael Waldron. Has he ever been nominated for anything, or what has he done? Do we know?
Well, Loki for sure.
Okay, did he write the whole Loki series?
I believe he did.
Oh wow.
We are on the fly.
Yeah,
we are officially off the notes. I have no clue. No clue what we're talking about.
It's okay. It's okay if that's the case. But if he wrote Loki primarily, and
he wrote Loki,
and
he wrote Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which we haven't seen yet. So we'll have to see on that one.
But that's stacking up to be a fantastic movie too.
Is it? Yes, it is.
The fact that we've got this might be the most Marvel Star Wars movie ever.
Think so.
when it's all said and done.
And admittedly, that probably worries some people. Doesn't worry me.
It doesn't worry me either. Marvel knows how to keep things in the continuity. And I'm not saying Star Wars doesn't, because Star Wars has done a really good job of maintaining the continuity, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I know others would disagree. But with that being said, continue that continuity with Kevin Feige at the helm in one respect. Yeah, that's
beautiful.
Good soup.
Good soup. Anyway, those of you out there, let us know what you think of Chloe Zhao potentially directing Kevin Feige's produced film. I think, obviously, here, it sounds like it's just nothing but great news in our opinion. But you let us know what you think. DJ, what's our next news piece?
Our next news piece.
I know you're excited about this one.
Comes to us via possibly the greatest Star Wars character ever. Cassian Andor. My dude. He's been in this fight since he was 6 years old.
6 years old.
Disney reveals that Andor will release during their fiscal Q4 2022, which runs from July 1st to September 30th. My dude, I cannot tell you how excited I am to know that Andor is coming as quickly as it is. I have to my right a K2SO Funko Pop, a Cassian Andor Funko Pop, and I have a Disney Elite Cassian Andor series sitting just over yonder on my TV stand. So
Over
the fact
yonder.
that over yonder, yes, that is a Southern word if there ever was one. I am floored by this news. I'm just going to talk about this for a second, and then I'll hand it over to Caleb. And Brandon Anderson, aka BA, says boo to The Last Jedi. Not a surprise there at all.
BA, brother, BA. How is it going, my man? How is it going?
Why am I on this show? Why isn't he on this show? That's what I have to say.
No, BA, we got to get you on here soon, man.
Petition to have BA on the show from now on. Just I'll step back. BA can jump in. Back to Andor. Cassian Andor is the greatest character in modern, I think, Disney era Star Wars. He represents so much to me as a fan. He represents so much to the rebellion. The guy Diego Luna is just an incredible person. He's just an awesome guy, so down to earth, so kind. And I remember watching him do an interview. I think it was with Ellen years ago, whenever it was announced he was going to be in Rogue One, and he was so excited. He goes, "I think I'm the first Mexican in Star Wars."
Mm-hmm.
And at first leading role played by a Mexican. And I thought that was incredible. I didn't know that at the time. And when he said that, I was like, that's awesome that he could be one of the first leading from his nation in a Star Wars movie. And he's a Star Wars fan. He said how badly he wants to be in the room with Jabba the Hutt, which I think we will see in Andor. Just saying. I have no connection for that at all. I just think it's going to happen. But this is exciting for me. It means that next year, during the time of year that's my birthday, I get to watch some Andor. That means a lot to me as a fan of Andor. He's my favorite Star Wars character, even now. It hasn't changed, and I hope it doesn't, because I love him so much. I love his character so much. And I'm excited for this show, for what it's supposed to bring and what it's been rumored to bring and what they've even said it's going to bring. And so even tomorrow, I'm hoping we get a trailer for Cassian with Disney Plus Day. Caleb, what do you have to say about this reveal for Q4?
Well, it's certainly exciting for me. I think, and we were kind of messaging about this off air, that release period. And again, this isn't like when the show is going to run. It's not saying that the show is running all the way from July 1st all the way to September 30th.
Oh,
it's
how
just
awesome would that be?
It would be awesome. It is just saying, essentially in this report, that it's going to release at some point in that window. We were talking off air through message, saying that sounds perfect, honestly, because if we think about it, we still get Mandalorian. I guess the Mandalorian season 3 would essentially be Q1 then for Disney's fiscal year of 2023. So I think that kind of fits our theorizing that we've been doing recently as far as when are we finally going to get season 3 of The Mandalorian. But we're talking about Cassian Andor right now. Super excited for this window. I don't really know how else to add to the window other than I think it's going to fit perfectly in between Kenobi and Mando Season 3, and somewhere they're going to fit in Bad Batch Season 2. Don't know where. We will see. But I'm excited, and hopefully tomorrow we learn more. And like I said earlier in the show, hopefully we get a release date, an exact date, since they're out here telling us the window of when it's going to be coming in. That's just my opinion, though, and hopefully we get more than a sizzle reel. I think that's what Star Wars Newsnet reported, that it's rumored that Andor would get yet again another sizzle reel. Come on, give me something else.
I don't want a sizzle reel. I'll say that. I want a full-blown trailer, and they've got to have something they can, even if it's just thrown together. Look at the original Star Wars 1977 first trailer. It was just thrown together, you know? And people still go nuts over that thing today. And people went nuts over it back in the day. So I'm okay if it's just a hodgepodge. I don't mind if there's green screen randomly in the background. I just want a full trailer.
Sure.
I don't need, well, I do need to see it if I'm being real honest. I want to see it so bad. I don't necessarily want a sizzle reel, but that being said, I'll take what I can get, and I won't hopefully throw a fit over it.
Take what you can and give nothing back. Great
There you
lessons
go. That's
from Jack Sparrow.
Pirates of the Caribbean right there. Also, as far as the date is concerned and when it released, I kind of quickly, I'm maybe comparing apples to oranges here, but I went ahead and just decided real quickly I was going to Google when those Marvel shows all aired this last year. And Loki aired in June, and I think What If followed it up in like August, if I remember right. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but I guess it was August when it kind of all started rolling.
Yeah, it was.
That I would say that we'll get Cassian in August, and around that time of year, because we'll have, and Kenobi is, and this is a question Blue Harvest Bricks asked in the chat, but he asked, do we have a timeline for Kenobi? Last I heard, Kenobi's supposed to release in like February.
Yeah. I think we'll be getting Kenobi pretty early on in the year.
Yeah. And I think that's why we're going to get a trailer tomorrow, because we're supposed to get it early in the year. I know that they kind of waited until the month before to give us a trailer for like Book of Boba, for example. I don't think they'll do that with Kenobi because they know how badly fans want that trailer. So maybe we'll see how that goes down. Tomorrow as far as timeline things go. So maybe, and again, you said you wanted dates for all these upcoming projects. We'll probably get a release date for Andor tomorrow.
I hope.
So it's all going to be out there tomorrow. Force willing. So
Force willing. There you go.
Force willing.
Something else kind of that just came to mind too is you mentioned Marvel. It came to my mind with this, the news that Miss Marvel, another Marvel show, was going to be coming out in Q4 as well. So I do think we are officially crossing into that time when Marvel and Star Wars projects are releasing at the same time on Disney Plus. As of next year, I think that's going to start happening. We'll see what that causes as far as, I don't know, I'm thinking like views and numbers and how well received shows are getting. We'll see though.
I think with that though, there's a really good chance that they'll have the top banner on Disney Plus. It'll say Marvel across the top, and then the second one as it scrolls by will be like Andor, for example.
Sure.
So I think that it'll be, there's a new Star Wars thing. I've been sleeping on Star Wars. I remember Rogue One. I had that Darth Vader scene. Let me see what this show's like. Click. And it could be one of those things. It's hard for me to take my mind away from Star Wars and put it into somebody who's not seen Star Wars because it's so ingrained. It's so a part of my life. I mean, just look at my background and what I'm wearing. For God's sake, with that being the case, people who love Marvel don't necessarily love Star Wars. So it's a good chance for people to say, ooh, new Marvel show. Oh, that's done. Let me check out this Star Wars show. And I think that's something that Disney may be banking on. And I think we've talked about that on Mando Talk before.
I think so.
How sometimes those things help and they complement each other. And I don't see it as a competition. I see it as a complementary kind of relationship. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think they're getting to that point. They're getting to the point where it's more of a team thing, and we're bringing in all the views. Disney Plus, we're trying to be the biggest and the baddest, and I think they're certainly heading that way. But regardless, hopefully we get answers tomorrow as far as Andor's specific release date. But we do have this report that we know it's going to be coming in between the months of July and September. And BA again is in the chat. He says, hope all is well, guys. DJ Star Wars knowledge earned him that spot. Keep up the good work, DJ. There you go. Shout out to you.
I'll say thank you, but it's a humble thank you.
All right.
It's weird. I've never been thanked for having Star Wars knowledge. That's a first.
Hey, people out there appreciate you, man. You got it.
See. Time will tell.
Okay. Our final news piece isn't necessarily news. It's one of those rumors. But before all this Andor stuff and the Chloe Zhao and the Rogue Squadron came out and Disney Plus Day obviously tomorrow, there was a big rumor report that came online about and honestly at this point I don't know if it's like Old Republic or High Republic. I feel like it keeps switching. Like people are talking about it being an Old Republic film. People are also talking about it being a High Republic film. But regardless, there is a rumor, and it was on Star Wars News Net is where I saw it, that a Old Republic film would be taking the place of that Rogue Squadron slot. What do you think of this rumor, DJ? Because honestly, other than me just saying, yeah, that's cool, I just hope they don't rush it, is really my analysis of this rumor.
Right.
I don't really have anything else to say, so I'll pass it to you, DJ.
I've gone back and forth quite a bit on this particular subject because there is definitely a clear difference between the High Republic and the Old Republic. The Old Republic is several hundred years before Phantom Menace, whereas the High Republic is only 200 years before Phantom Menace. So, and I actually have I actually have 3 High Republic novels right here with me, and I'll just refer to them really quickly. I'm about to start reading The Rising Storm by Kevin Scott. I'm expecting it to be good. One of the great things about the Disney era publishing is that they always tell you where these books kind of coincide in a timeline somewhere at the front of the book. And I'm looking at it right now. So High Republic, we've got Light of the Jedi, The Rising Storm, and then Into the Dark. And then, it kind of jumps ahead there. So as far as that goes, we just need to make sure we understand that there is a difference between these and that it is, not the same thing. And I think that's something that they've painstakingly worked through at Star Wars and Lucasfilm with all those folks over there. So with that being said, I think they do connect somehow. And that's why I brought out the book, because I personally think that Acolyte is going to have a lot to do with High Republic. I think that Acolyte's going to take place just right there at the end of these High Republic novels, which, after having considered and thought through that, I think that is 100% something they're doing. Another book I have here with me is Darth Plagueis. I am about 150 pages in. I'm in chapter 11, I believe. And back on page 72-ish, I believe I sent those to Caleb the other day. There is a moment in page 70 to 73 in that book where it's very obvious that Darth Plagueis references something that happened several hundred years before this particular moment in this book. Darth Plagueis takes place 36 years before Phantom Menace, I think, is what no, 62 years before Phantom Menace. So now I know I'm getting really detailed. Okay. I have a point. I'm getting to it. All right. With all of that being said, I think all of these Legends books that are becoming essential Legends collections, including Darth Plagueis, they just announced last week, High Republic gearing up for these insanely big things. I think all of this connects to a potential movie that will also connect to the Old Republic. I think that Disney is willing to put their eggs in a basket that draws a through line from the Old Republic to the High Republic. And I honestly would like to even go a step further and say that this was something that the Benioff and Weiss guys were supposed to be working on back in the day. And no one's ever said something contrary to that. I've stuck to that personally. So as far as this rumor goes with the Old Republic taking the place of Rogue Squadron, it seems quick because, as we talked about earlier, Patty Jenkins, has been working on this thing since 2020. Mm-hmm. And to just say, okay, let's put that on hold and now let's just rush this other project or move this other project up. Who knows if that's what they're going to work on? Sure. It seems a little out there, but at the same time, Project Luminous has been in the works for a long time as well. Like I said, I think Benioff and Weiss were supposed to be those guys. It's very possible that Disney was like, you know what? We have a story. We have a script. We can get a director in here who's ready to go. Let's just make it happen. And I think that those two things will connect. Now, I'm probably wrong. I mean, I've probably just thrown out the tinfoil hat pretty hard because I did just reference like 4 books. Okay? Right. I could have referenced 5 if I'd thrown in Master and Apprentice, but all that to say, that's where I think it's going. And until we have more news, I don't really have anything else I could say. About it. Caleb, what do you think?
Well, I'm trying to take the Star Wars helmet off for this, and I like that you got detailed. And to add further thought to this conversation, I'm going to kind of take a step back and think non-Star Wars fan.
Someone needs to.
If you're a filmmaker, obviously I'm a Star Wars fan. Don't get it twisted, guys. I love everything that DJ just said. Again, this is just to, have a conversation about it. If you're just a film watcher and you get news of this movie that's connecting to all of these novels, are you really going to get invested? Are you really going to get in? No. I'm talking about non-Star Wars diehards. Okay. Are you really going to go and get invested to a Old Republic / High Republic film that you have to know about all of these novels and things to fully appreciate. That's my only thing is, again, taking that Star Wars helmet off. Taking that off. That's the only reason why I'm saying that. Again, I'm right there with you, DJ. I like all of that. I love all of that. But again, just to have that conversation, what's your counterpoint?
Or maybe this is more of a counter argument.
Okay, there you go.
Caleb, have you read every single Game of Thrones?
Absolutely not. Yes! Let's go. You did it. I'm on board.
So why would it matter?
Okay, well, I guess my question then is, because Game of Thrones is a direct telling of those novels.
So is Lord of the Rings.
Right. Is the Old Republic film going to be a direct telling of those novels, or is it something that you have to know about the novels to understand the story?
I don't think if it's purely an Old Republic movie, it's not that hard to just adapt the story.
Sure.
I don't think it is. We've had other video game movies that have come around and they absolutely sucked, but this is Star Wars. This is different.
Right. Right.
Well, apparently you can let Star Wars suck, but according to some, but you really can't. And when you do let Star Wars not do well, people get really vocal about it. And so, especially BA, hello, back to you in the chat. I mean, we know how people react to certain films of Star Wars, and we don't even have to throw just people like BA under the bus.
No, he's used to it.
We can throw those prequel haters under the bus as well. Those people who berated Jake Lloyd and nearly caused Ahmed Best to end his own life. I mean, I know I got real really quick, but there's a lot of haters out there, and I don't think that this is one of those things that really needs to be concerned. We need to be concerned with as far as, is it going to be a direct thing? I mean, probably not,
Yeah.
I don't think that Lucasfilm is in the business of doing that necessarily. Yeah. And so, they've never been in the business of doing that. They don't, they have obviously no problem with their material being adapted into TV shows, books, video games, etc.
Yeah.
And that's not just Star Wars. That's Indiana Jones as well.
Yeah. It's just flip-flopped. Because, usually with Star Wars in the past, it's been the film comes first, and these novels further tell the story of the film. Yeah. This is just one of those rare circumstances that we've come to in the franchise where we've got these novels that or video games that they could now then adapt to film. It's just the opposite way, and something that's new and something that's very exciting, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be, like you said, a direct telling of those stories in a film aspect. I don't think that needs to be the case. I think it very easily could be something where it's like, we've got Darth Revan, we've got that's the only character I actually know from Old Republic, because I've said this before on the show, I was never an Old Republic person. Now, I enjoy it for the sake of others, okay? I'm glad that everybody else loves it, and I think it's fantastic that you love those things. I hope for you that it gets adapted and brought into film, But back to what, we were saying just a minute ago, is it going to be one of those direct things? Probably not. Is it still exciting regardless of what happens? I've already said today, anything Star Wars news is good news.
Good news. Good soup.
It doesn't good soup. It doesn't matter to me. So
yeah, I agree.
Whether or not, and I say it doesn't matter to me. Let me be clear about that. I mean, I don't care one way or the other if it is a direct telling or if it's brand new content. I'm excited regardless.
Okay. No, I like that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to have that conversation. And again, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I was just playing, the other side of it, and just wanted to see kind of where that went.
But you still did say that, you mentioned how, will people get into these books because of these movies or vice versa? Do you need to know the character before you get into, the story? People didn't know who Padme Amidala was, People didn't know who Qui-Gon Jinn was or Mace Windu. But you know what? By the time 2005 rolled around, we were invested.
100%.
It doesn't
100%.
matter. I don't think it actually really matters that much. So it doesn't matter if Avar Kriss or Loden Greatstorm are adapted into a film, because people are going to say, that's a freaking cool name. Loden Greatstorm? Are you kidding me? Who is that? And next thing you know, you've got a guy running around with, it's a Twi'lek, being played by hopefully a great actor, getting out there and doing some hardcore stuff with the lightsaber. I mean, That's
Pretty
just
cool.
one. That's High Republic, by the way, and Old Republic.
Right.
Throw whoever you want in as Darth Revan. The popular one's Keanu Reeves. All right, I don't think he would do Star Wars personally, but
No.
you throw him in there, and he goes ham, and he does his thing. Goes full. What is it? John Wick in Star Wars with a lightsaber would be dope. But to me, it's all good. It's all good. You know me. I'm just like I'm the sponge, as I said at the beginning of the show. I'm soaking it up. I'm ready to be wrung out so we can continue to share in all the fun Star Wars things.
Definitely.
And excitement.
Definitely. Well, I'm excited for it nonetheless. I would love to see I've always wanted to see like an Old Republic thing because that probably lends itself to a lot of lightsabers, and I really love lightsabers. Who doesn't?
There's nothing wrong with lightsabers.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. There was something that I was thinking of as you were talking, but I completely forgot about it. But oh well, that's fine.
I have that effect on people.
Fine. No, but only because you're telling such great points that I'm just following with you, and then I just get lost with it all, and then I'm just here,
Oh well, hey, I'm barely here. Just gonna be real honest with you. Most of the time, I'm barely here.
You mentioned director. They had a director on deck. Do you have any predictions with that?
A director on deck,
like you said, if this was gonna come out and take that Rogue Squadron slot. Obviously, they would have a director that's in store then. Do you have a personal opinion on that?
Yeah.
Who is it? Let's hear it. Come on.
It's George Lucas. No, I'm kidding. It's not George Lucas. That'd be cool. No, I think it's Rian Johnson. I'm just going to be honest. If it's not him, it's Taika. And
I don't think it's Taika.
And he's the only other director that I'm aware of that's been tied to a potential future Star Wars project. Oh, not just project, trilogy. Kathy Kennedy was, I think, either, inebriated or high when she said that at Star Wars Celebration. Just gonna be real honest, but she probably should not have just full on said
committed to that.
And Rian Johnson trilogy 20 whatever. I don't think that she should have done that.
Yeah.
But I still think that the most potential director right now is Rian Johnson. And until otherwise disproven, I'm going to go ahead and I hang my head in shame a little bit because I know how many people are going to see this and watch this and be like, or listen to this and think, wow, that Rebel Scum, dude. Yeah. But I'll just take it a step further. Just earlier this morning, I retweeted something that was pro Brie Larson in Star Wars. So,
that's a mistake.
So come at me, fanboys. I don't care.
No, I'm not saying that's a mistake. I don't care either way. I think whoever
what you mean.
They bring in. I'm saying like it's a mistake to retweet it because then all of a sudden all these people are going to come at you for no reason.
Let them. I got this.
There you go.
I've got arguments loaded. I've got like a utility belt like Batman just ready with, oh yeah, well here's this. Oh yeah, well here's that. I'm ready to go. Battering them with some Star Wars knowledge real fast.
There you go. Well, it's one of those instances where I don't really have, like I said, when I introduced the news piece, I think it's great. I think it's exciting. Right now, it's just a rumor that we do not know for 100%. But if it is true, then yeah, that very first news piece that we touched on of Hollywood Reporter saying that Rogue Squadron hadn't moved yet. If this rumor is true, Rogue Squadron is moving then, and we're not getting Rogue Squadron in 2023 like we originally thought. So we'll see. Oh, I finally remembered.
Yes.
What I thought of.
Say it.
There was an interview that Kathleen Kennedy was doing on a red carpet or a premiere at some point, and the person asked her, like, do you have any plans to ever have an Old Republic film or something along those lines? And this was back when the Benioff and Weiss thing was getting developed, and she was like,
I've seen this interview,
and she kind of stumbled over her words at first, like because she knew something was in the works, but she didn't want to say it. But then she just came to the realization that she already kind of spilled the beans, and she said, yes, an Old Republic story is in production, or it's in development, or it's a story that we're messing with, something along those lines.
That's what she said.
Something along those lines.
She never said in production or development, but
right.
She did say we are always revisiting these kinds of things. We're always, and I don't know, I think when this news dropped earlier this week, I saw that interview resurface. I think it was from like it could have been the Last Jedi red carpet. It was a while ago.
Yeah,
whenever it kind of dropped. So all that to say, I'm I'm with you on that. If she's, I want that to happen, you know, and the more we get confirmation from the president of Lucasfilm,
right,
whoever he or she may eventually be, it's fine with me. You know, it makes all the sense in the world to me.
Absolutely. All right.
Yeah,
well,
so I'm glad we came back to that.
Yes,
that's
I think that's a further proof in the pudding. I've used that a couple of times today. That we're getting this thing eventually. It might not be in 2023 when Rogue Squadron was supposed to come out, but we're eventually going to get some form of Old Republic, High Republic film. We'll see, though. We will see. If you're out there listening, you let us know what you think of this Old Republic, High Republic film rumor, whatever it is. We don't know which one it is, but regardless, it's going to be one of the republics. Let us know what you think of it. One of the republics. All right.
there's so many republics.
So many. Galactic Republic, New Republic, High Republic, Old Republic, Silly Republic.
Did you cover the New Republic?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Old Republic, High Republic, the New Republic, and then there's just a flat out Republic.
Yeah.
That's four republics. What are we doing?
Way too many. And actually, no, I love it. I love the continuity.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. All right.
It's all good.
That is the Star Wars news of the week. So we've covered everything that we want to talk about here on this week's episode of Mando Talk. But again, to let you know, tomorrow is Disney Plus Day. If there are trailers, me and DJ will be doing reactions to said trailers. Those will be exclusively on YouTube over the weekend. But if we get new content on Tuesday, I'm sure we'll talk about it as far as trailers go. Because, again, Tuesdays moving forward are our Star Wars news reports, or our episode where we hit all the news, we hit the rumors, we hit the speculation, all that stuff on a Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thursday is when we will do our spoiler reviews of, say, the Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi, Andor, Bad Batch Season 2, you name it, as those things continue to come out. But obviously right now we haven't gotten to that point yet, so Thursdays until Book of Boba Fett hits will kind of be like a Boba Fett analysis. I think we're gearing up for the Book of Boba Fett, so we're going to start diving deep into the character.
Can we officially call those our Boba festivities?
Boba festivities. I like it.
I said that the other day, and I was like, I want to call it our Boba festivities so bad.
Boba festivities.
It's our Boba festivities, yeah.
You know what? Let's just make that official. We'll start our Boba... How do you say it again?
Boba festivities.
Boba festivities. We'll start that next Thursday. Where we'll dive deep into that character.
Fair enough.
And it's probably going to entail the Disney Plus Day special, as well as potentially a Chapter 9 of the Mandalorian Revisit. And what we're going to do is connect to see, what can we pull from that could be further explored in the Book of Boba Fett. Obviously, in that in Chapter 9, all we get is the reveal that he's still there. But I think me and DJ have proven in the past that we can dive deep into a little hood taking off or turning around or whatever. We will find stuff to say about Boba Fett from that one shot.
Absolutely. There's so much in that one shot. I mean, I think that the Book of Boba Fett trailer helped us with that shot a ton, personally.
Yeah. All right. Well,
so,
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Tuesday, again, we're hitting news, so we'll be there. We'll be here on all Airstreams, platforms, doesn't matter. DJ, thank you for being here yet again this week. Any final things you would like to say to our lovely audience?
No.
Good. Okay. Nice. All right. Well, we can't wait to see you again. And again, Tuesday, Thursday, all Star Wars on every platform. We can't wait to do it. All right, let's get out of here. We hope you have a blessed day, blessed week, blessed weekend, a blessed Disney Plus day. Enjoy that celebration. And as always, we have spoken.